Morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. What's up? How's it going? What's going on? Happy Friday. Happy 4th of July. You ready back there, Mr. Ryan? Good
Good
morning, Arizona Ryan.
morning.
How you
What's
doing,
happening,
good?
man? Tired. I'm angry at Brofit. Brofit made me do cardio yesterday. So
Oh,
today was
that's not
today was
normally your
hard.
regimen.
I would say not the kind of WOD type of stuff. No, it was great. Brofit was so incredibly accommodating and hospitable, and his kids are just gorgeous, amazing human beings. And so it was so nice to see him in person. So it's good.
Nice. Did you get to meet his wife or was she out at work?
No, she was at work,
Yeah.
um, so I was not able to, which would have been amazing, because I know Brofit is only part of a whole. As
Yeah,
amazing as he is,
definitely. Was it cool to see his spot? Like his gym, like after watching, I don't know how many shows, how often you watch his morning stuff, but I know you've been in a couple of them.
yeah, I feel like people are like, "Oh man, it's so cool that you're going to go see him right now." I'm like, I don't, you know what? In our community, it always feels as if like you already kind of know somebody,
Yeah,
one, their personality, right? Some of their quirks, obviously how they look and that kind of stuff. Like Brofit is definitely like I think 2 or 3 inches taller than I really knew. Um,
mm,
so he's definitely taller. But yeah, overall, it just feels like, you can kind of get right into conversation, and it's
yeah,
such a cool thing. So, um, Dom, the online community stuff, it is, I think it's just more powerful than I think people realize, right?
I think so too.
It's,
Yeah,
yeah,
especially
I
nowadays.
100%, 100%.
I mean, we
So,
all do everything online, so once you start getting into this realm of opening up this bag of building community and relationships and just you know this community, I feel like we're also deep diving. Like we're not just all focused on the friends or this book or whatever. Like we're sitting here every day talking about what's going on in our lives. And even in the Twitter DMs and on socials, like we're all going deeper and deeper and deeper. It's just not people making content and then commenting on that content or talking about, food or working out or V friends or whatever. Like there's so many other conversations going in, especially if you're open to having them. And so yeah, when you see each other in person, it is kind of like getting together with some really, really good friends, arguably some
yeah,
best friends.
yeah, it's just, it's such a cool thing. I had a thought in my head, and I told myself as you were talking to not think about the next thing you were going to say and to listen to you. But now I forget what it was, so I don't know if that's a better thing or not.
It always happens.
But that itself is a skill. I feel like a lot of people are thinking about what they're going to say next. They don't listen.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so it is. And I must say, oh, this is what I was going to say is that I think in like really great communities, I just realized there's music above me if it's loud. Let me know.
Mm-mm, can't hear it.
Okay. Um, is that I think that, I think the greatest communities, and I've seen this in so many other places too. Like I've seen this within certain cultures, like the running culture is like this. I would say like a healthy gym culture. Some like CrossFit gyms are like this, but just over like just some gyms in general are like this. That's just my world. But I would say that a lot of people will leave your place at the table. I mean, I like um there's a lot of places it's like if you don't show up, you're kind of pushed out a little bit, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then you kind of come back like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like it's just someone else kind of took your place. And I know even like here I've kind of stepped back a little bit for a little bit of time just to kind of get my like focus going. But like I've never felt from the community that it's been ever something you can't come back into. The last thing I'll say is I've been so grateful about my brother's commitment and I think involvement. And I think like seeing you and him like really connect has been like really like just warmed my heart. So I'm so happy to see him, and even him like he was so excited and happy to kind of go see Brian yesterday, and I was like, oh man, that's so awesome. Like it's not just for me right now, and so
Yeah.
it made me feel really good, and it was kind of like bordering on that side of like a men's type of thing, right? Versus parents. It was like a men's kind of focus, which was good. Anyway, large discussion, but it was good.
Yeah,
All things, all love.
did you guys I'm sure you guys got into some good conversation during the workout. I like I said, I didn't watch it. It was this is the family show, so I'm not gonna say that word, but it was just a little too much for me when I saw the three of you on screen. And then when I saw your screenshots, I almost lost my mind. Like and I looked at how many people had viewed it and retweeted it and all that stuff at that moment, and I'm like, this is not enough. So I just like I dropped it in some DM groups. I'm like, dude, this is
Uh,
amazing. Like
it was. I mean, like I feel like as it was like coming together,
it made me
like
cry.
I feel like the 5 inch short team was like really like hot, ready to go. And it was just like, yeah, it definitely had a different feel than what it was just supposed to be. Definitely a
Yeah.
different feel. I feel like I even said this in one of my posts because I said I think that this if this was a picture that were to define the V Friends community as a whole, I think it's going to end
Mm,
up leaving a lot more questions than answers. So
yeah. No. That's a niche in a niche.
yeah, for sure, for sure. How are you
So what
though?
do you
This
guys
is the fourth. You guys are what? You're home. You're going to get into stuff. Do you have fireworks? What happens in California now?
Yeah, our friends do it big, and I think this is pretty much the first year that we've been back included with this friend group. Like we're almost
Hmm.
about to hit, I think, or maybe we just barely hit. We're hitting on a year of like being back with this group. So all the trips, all the fun, all the stuff that you've been hearing me talk about this last year, this is like kind of like the full circle of that year. So yeah, we get to go to their annual firework and pool party, which is always a blast and a fun time. And we in past years we wouldn't go to it and we would see the photos and we'd be like, damn, like that was one of the things that always bothered me. Oh, like the stuff that I was missing out on with these people that I didn't not, I didn't not like them. It wasn't that. It was just my sister had beef with them and I stayed tied to my family.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear
Let me
you.
add Jason up here. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good morning, everybody.
Okay.
We have a quiet room today. Everybody's sleeping in and just like relaxing. Doesn't show many people in the background on Twitch. It just says David and Viva Leslie are our lurkers. So good
Oh,
morning
hello.
to you two.
What's up,
But
guys?
yeah, it's quiet today.
Well, at least we have each other.
Yes. Me and the Turner boys.
We're very,
This is the sandwich that Brofit felt like yesterday.
where is Ryan? Where are you right now?
I am at a Starbucks over on the busy road on the highway. I don't even know what it's called. Anyway,
You're just
the
like leaning
gym.
your phone against a streetlight, or are you sitting somewhere?
I'm
Are
panning.
you
I'm
in
just
line right now?
not online. The gym I was going to is over there. Guys, when you leave Brooklyn, you
He's
go
like,
to
it's over there, guys. It's over there.
I feel like when you end up going to a gym outside of Brooklyn, there's so much space. Like I am blown away by how much space there is in these gyms. Like it's just like I
Yeah,
I have to like get myself ready to like walk across the gym to go to the next thing. It's
yeah. That's Arizona, man. And that's actually like where I live too. Like where I used to live is a little bit more of like tighter, like where I build homes, it's a lot tighter quarters. Not like Brooklyn tight, but like pretty tight out there in the South Bay. But when we moved out here, it reminded me of a lot of Arizona, where it's just like there's just space. Like there's not a street out here where I live where if one car is driving down it, anyone going opposing traffic has to kind of like pull over and give them room.
Yeah.
But like where I build, it's constantly that.
Because you build closer to the coast.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
So
where you go. So you,
that
yeah,
beach property, high value property, they build them really tight. We have 30-foot wide lots with 3-foot side yards. So you're essentially 6 feet from your neighbor.
yeah. I don't, you know what? It's I love watching my girls experience a different lifestyle. Like I was telling Jason yesterday that, having stairs in a home is a highlight for them.
Oh yeah.
So it's really like an easy sell, like wherever we go. It's got stairs. They're like, let's do it.
Got a second floor and a pool.
And then the pool is just like it's just awesome. And obviously, like now watching them like interact with their cousins is just so much fun. Built-in best friends kind of stuff. But it's I'm always curious to see is it more of a benefit to like have them living in the situation that we're in Brooklyn and then like watch them open up and experience the world this way? Is it better the other way around? I mean, I don't think there's anything better, but it's an interesting dynamic, that I'm always just kind of like keeping in mind. City kids versus other
I'd
things,
say that we are doing a bang up job by just bringing them out
Yeah.
and
Let
letting
them
them
experience it. Yeah.
I have not experienced any traffic. Like I'm not leaving the house much except in the mornings, but like the roads are usually empty, like even midday, and like this is like a giant parking lot.
Hmm.
This state of Arizona right now. Um, but yeah, even yesterday when we were driving, it was like easy, super easy.
Yeah, it definitely is easy. Dom, is that kind of where you are too?
Um, other than like the rush hours, it's pretty much,
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
my child.
it's
Hey,
pretty empty.
child.
Hey, it is your child.
I got your child.
I told you she came on and she brought it, she at first she looked like she was just barely awake, and then she lit up and she just took over the show.
Yeah, we
She
learned a lot.
is she is a little spitfire, aren't you, little baby? Aren't you?
Sure.
Love you, Dee.
Dee Dee, where do you think Dad is?
Hi, Daddy.
Hi.
What'd you say, Don?
I said, where do you think your dad is, Dee Dee?
Where's your dad right now?
I don't know.
All right.
Mm.
Dom,
She
you
needs more
sent
coffee.
Dom, you sent the picture of the book today, the page, and it did have me screaming back to, when things had first started, when we were going through the book and everything. Obviously, a couple, weeks, months in right now, but the whole Florence Nightingale thing, and it made me remember the whole thing about Ryan Holiday's like love for Florence Nightingale and some of these other,
Hmm.
characters, historical figures that he's been highlighting so much. Um, what I was
Screaming out of anger or annoyance or joy?
No, no, no. Like, I definitely like it. I like the idea of Florence Nightingale for many reasons, but I think the one thing in particular was that it was like a kid that had really, or just a family member, I don't know how to say it, but like Florence Nightingale was very much the opposite of what her parents were. And it made me kind of think about how there's this, like, there's this crazy process, internal dialogue, internal, fight with yourself where you're always trying to figure out, am I like my parents? Am I not like my parents? Should I be like more like my parents? Should I be, there's so many things there. And just, I think when someone just has the conviction that like Florence Nightingale had for what she wanted, because right, Dom, you correct me if I'm wrong. Florence Nightingale she was very much different than her parents, but she was very much like her grandma. Is that what that was?
Dad,
What's that, Didi?
can I go on iPad?
Yeah, baby, you can go on the iPad.
Oh man. I don't know. I can't remember if it was like her grandma. I think there was some reference of her grandmother like helping guide her, whereas her parents were, holding her back and kind of, saying that she's disgracing her name and stuff like that when she was making that transition. So I think you're right. Let's just say for sake of yeah, you could.
But maybe
My
happy.
the thing that came, I was thinking about the whole pushback against parents' wishes for kids, and there's really only been one time as a teacher, and this was a teacher experience. I had I had probably my most successful and talented student during COVID,
Hmm.
and we were all wearing masks, and he never talked. He would just come in and just like make kick-ass artwork, and it was all his own stuff. He was one of the students where I was like, I don't know what I'm teaching you because I think you might be better than me. And I had him for 3 years, sixth through eighth grade. And over the years, his mom was very involved in all of the brothers' education. She was she put together like these like non-school associated art shows, and I would run into her at least once a year at the district art show, and we'd set up things, and she'd always tell me about like what he's doing and stuff. And he's now going to college, um, which I'm really glad that I get to like I get those sides of my students' lives. Um, but he's obviously talented, like super talented, like probably going to be hired as a concept artist. That's what he wants to do. Um, but his mom was talking to me about like what she wants him to do. Like it was almost like it was 5 years of like being associated with them, and all of a sudden she was like, yeah, like we're really trying to get him to do like go be a doctor or a lawyer, and I was like, I mean, it definitely was an odd change. And as the teacher, I'm like, well, you should let him like do what he feels like he wants to do. But like they were trying to like, because both of his older brothers, I think one went into health as a doctor, and one went into law, and then he's like the third one out, going into art. And that was the first time where I was like, oh, this really exists, where parents are still trying to like push them into professions. And I'm assuming that it probably has to do with like the prospect of wealth in the future. Um, but it was an odd interaction. She was asking me for my opinion on it, and like the only way that I knew him was an artist. And I was like, well, and I don't even really think I said you should let him try going in art. I think I was just letting her talk because she seemed very passionate about it. But that's like a personal connection that I'll be following over the years because I'm interested to see how that plays out, and will he end up following what his mom and dad want him to do, um, or not. But yeah, I didn't really ever think that that really existed anymore. At least in my experience, I'm sure it happens plenty.
Why do you think the parent was thinking that? I mean, you mentioned what? You mentioned wealth, I think. Is there anything else, I mean, that you think was driving the parent to want the kid to do that?
Um, I think it was also because of the school he was going to. like he was like they were doing all these like family trips to like these art schools, but then they went to some schools in California that more specialize in those two areas. And I don't, I guess that changed the mom's opinion. I don't know.
Hmm. Okay.
I was kind of in disagreement, but I didn't want to cause any waves. She was also very loquacious. She was a good talker. I was in our conversations. I was kind of in a rush, so I was like, okay, well, he can go if he wants. But um,
Dad,
good morning, Growfits. What do you need to ask your dad that you can't ask me right now?
I don't, I don't know where is the iPad.
I don't know where the iPad is either, but when I'm done in 7 minutes, I'll help you find it.
Okay.
Dee Dee, why don't you go ask mom? I know mom knows where it is.
Oh, Mom is upstairs sleeping.
Oh, go wake her up.
We'll give her a kiss.
Mommy said she wanted to go on a walk
I don't
anyway,
know.
so I have to wake her up when I get home.
Uh,
It's
uh,
that's a
so-
good conversation though. I like it.
So I guess here's a question for us and those in the chat. Good morning, Growfits. Welcome. I'm a little bit sore. I am more clothed.
I had a really
For now.
difficult afternoon yesterday, by the way. I feel like I was like completely just exhausted. I fell asleep in the car on the way home.
You
Came
did.
home. I was tired.
How
Broke
far
it.
away is he? How
got
far
me.
away is he from you guys?
It's
Like
like 45 minutes.
Only nice drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Easy.
is there anything that you think, I don't know, besides drugs or prostitution, that you feel like you might push your kids away from or tell them to adjust their path as far as like
Lost the last thing you're saying. I have one. But Dom, is there something that you would steer your kids away from?
No, I don't think so. Like I just want them to do. I honestly don't. Doesn't matter. Like if they want to go to school, not go to school. They want to move to another city, state, country. Um, yeah, as long as they're doing something. I definitely don't want them to just be here doing nothing. I don't want them to be like living with us out of high school or too far out of high school and just like working at a job. I definitely want them to be, doing something, like
Mhm.
having some sort of goal. So
Yeah.
I don't think it really matters what field they go into or if they bounce from field to field. They try different things. Yeah, not no.
I know I would say just because I experienced it firsthand for a long time is kind of like the theater, acting, singing. I wouldn't steer someone away from it. I wouldn't tell my kids not to do it, but I would tell my kids this is not the only thing that you can chase right now. You need
Yeah.
to like I want that like if you succeed, if that's what you want, I'll be behind you 100%. But it's not the only thing that you like you need other skills. You need to like learn how to make money in like a different way. But also I think like I've seen people torn down and like very much not respected, because of those kind of things. And so sometimes I see my oldest wanting to do some of those things, and I'm like, got it. I also know how sensitive and emotional you are. So we have to like really make sure that we're working on, that emotional intelligence and understanding kind of how like that confidence kind of plays into things. Now, Dee Dee over there, I think would destroy somebody no matter what they said to her. So like she's gonna hurt someone else's feelings.
yeah.
They say anything to her.
I
But
would say
that's the only thing that I would start to get concerned with.
yeah. This is only based on my experience. And this is advice for any kid or parent who's like, kid wants to do something more on the creative side. Like my art school experience, I loved it. But I really had no support, nor did I know where to look for like job support after college. It was definitely like jumping off a ship into a big ocean of uncertainty. The one thing that I would say is whatever you do, whether like you're an art major or even like you want to go into acting or something, just take some business courses.
Totally.
That's just my like my applicable information to what they want to do is know how to make money in whatever it is you want to do. That's the only thing that I would suggest.
Yeah, I think that's what I told my girls is just to do business or finance classes as a base while you figure out what it is that you're gonna do.
Yeah,
Going
like
close ups now.
there's nothing sexy about being a starving artist. You got to eat, and you got to make money somehow so you can eat, so you can do the thing you want to do.
Would you also say that it would make you a more confident artist, knowing that like no matter what you're like what moment you're in within your art or your emotions or whatever, like if you can make money off of it, it can make you a better artist, right? Because you can now chase whatever feeling you have instead of needing to uh you know uh be affected or be dictated by what the environment wants, like what the art wants, right? That kind of thing. So that's how I feel. I think
Well,
it's
yeah,
great advice.
if you know how to sell stuff, and it doesn't even have to be art. It's like if you want to, like if you're an inventor, or if you want to make stuff, or any other manufacturing, it's like you got to know the business side of it. And like I'm one of those people that's like, yeah, I love making things, and I suck at marketing. My story is a dime a dozen, and you really got to know how to sell yourself
Yeah,
if you want to do something on your own. Sure.
I would say in my field as well. And Dom, I know you still have to do some marketing and sales, right?
A little bit. It's more of networking than marketing. Um, it's more of
Oh, good point.
just schmoozing people and getting to know architects and real estate agents and stuff like that. I mean, there is a version of my job where if I wanted to expand and go further, marketing would be the way. Uh, but I don't know that I want to get any bigger to handle the workload I have. So
Oh, wait, I would join
All
your
right.
business if I live next to you. I would say, Dom, hire me. I want to work with you. I think you'd be an excellent boss.
yeah, I've thought that a lot. I've had a couple of conversations, like the couple of people I've had conversations with. I'm like, it would be so much fun if you were, out here, but it's not an easy thing living out here, the
Yeah.
costs out here are made, just like crazy.
Hmm.
So to move out here, like that's why we had to move away. And so, I was talking to someone yesterday I was telling him about the commute, and he's just like, "She's really?" I'm like, "Yeah, man."
Yeah, you do have a pretty intense commute,
Yeah.
but you handle it well, like it's nothing.
Eh.
Yeah. Speaking of commute, I think I have to walk back to go take care of my child that I've left with my brother.
No, I got him. We're just gonna go find the iPad. We're gonna get some Skittles. I'm gonna put you
We're
on
at
the couch.
how we're gonna get some more cookies and ice cream for breakfast
Heck yeah,
with a
Funkle,
side with a
Funkle
side of
J.
yogurt with a side of yogurt.
Oh wait, Didi, do you need more yogurt at home?
Uh, well,
Loki.
the the last one was in the fridge.
Look.
It's already empty.
Do you need more?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
already
there's a store right here.
empty.
All right, I'll go get more before I come home.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go get some yogurt and then commute back home here.
I gotta get a dog.
Cool. Good seeing you guys.
All
Guys,
right,
I hope
see
you have
you
a great holiday.
guys. Yeah, you
Talk
guys
soon.
too. Thank you very much. Everybody who showed up, thank you for hanging out. Plush, David, Leslie, Chels, Brofit. Thank you guys for coming. Bye. Thank you,
Bye, guys.
Ryan. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Dee Dee. Everybody have a great holiday. Enjoy those fireworks. Enjoy those pools. Enjoy those barbecues. And we'll see you on Monday. Bye, gentlemen. Love you guys.
See you guys.
And the dog signs us out. There we go.